Hello and welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. I want to thank you guys for being patient with me. I'm just feeling better. I was sick for quite a few days. Just terrible. I was just completely wiped out and I could barely move. So I'm definitely feeling better. I still got a little bit of nasal congestion and slight cough. My throat's, better, but I can talk now. I really had no energy and was unable to talk. So I'm glad that I'm feeling a lot better. So I wanted to come back with a story about something that happened to me on tour, which we were not expecting. Sometimes when you're touring in a different country, I'm from Canada, you don't know exactly what to expect when you show up at gigs. There's always a stereotype associated with certain venues sometimes. You'll hear stories about the venue and stuff. And oftentimes you don't even believe the stories. But then when you get there and you actually live it, you go, every single story was the truth. So that's this story today. So if you guys have ever seen the movie Roadhouse and the scene where Jeff Healey and his band is playing at the Roadhouse and it's a chicken wire gig, well, I remember seeing that for the first time and laughing about the chicken wire and why do they have that chicken wire up? Well, it's to protect the band. It's to stop people from coming on stage. It's to prevent things from being thrown at them, even though if things hit the wire and break, they can still get through. But that's the main purpose. Keep people off the stage, prevent stuff from being thrown. And if the if the fans that are at the show don't like the band, it protects the band so they don't get attacked. So I went to Arkansas, Lil Rock, Arkansas on a tour. And we show up at this particular venue. Unfortunately, I don't have any video. I don't have any pictures. All I have is memories. Unfortunately, my memory is not great. I never thought that I would be doing these kind of videos. I stumbled into these talking videos and telling stories and stuff. I had one video that came out talking about how there's no money to be made if you're playing bars in Ontario. And it kind of took off. People said that they enjoyed my stories, and so it took off. So you have to remember, 30 years ago, when I was on tour, there was no such thing as YouTube. I never, ever even imagined that I would be telling stories and would need, documented details of everything that I did. Plus, gig to gig to gig to gig. You just didn't document everything. It's not like a film crew was following you around. I barely took any pictures. I mean, back in the 90s, hardly anybody took pictures. You didn't have a phone. I mean, if you had a camera and you carried it around, okay, you took pictures, you had to get them developed. Nowadays, everybody's got a phone. You can take pictures constantly and detail all aspects of your life, and a lot of people do that. I take pictures, I take video and stuff like that, but I don't detail every aspect of my life like a lot of people do on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. I don't really do that. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is I can't remember the name of the venue. Like I said, I didn't document everything, so please bear with me, but I will tell you the story. Touring the U.S., playing with a rock band that played some Southern type rock, and we did originals and covers, and the band was a pretty decent band. Most of us, for the most part, we got along. There's always times on the road when you're going to have disagreements and not always get along. Now, the tour was actually not very long. It was basically, go down south, drive down south, tour around the Arkansas and Alabama and stuff like that area, Missouri, I think we went to, a few other places. I remember some of the drives were long, though. It wasn't all in one area. I mean, I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head how far Arkansas is away from Alabama. I think they're fairly close, but I can remember some extended driving down there. Now, if you've ever been to Arkansas, it is it's an unbelievable place. A lot of stereotypes about Arkansas, but in a lot of ways, it's true. I hate to say it. If you're from Arkansas, please accept my apologies. But for the most part, when I was down there, a lot of the stereotypical things that, people talk about from that area, I witnessed. So, I mean, it was something else to be down there. Now, that being said, very loyal fans in the sense that the people that came to the shows, they came to the shows. I can remember numerous people seeing the same people. We were in one place for 3 nights, and I can remember seeing a lot of the same people showing up at the shows. So the loyalty factor is very high down there. So I have to commend the people of Arkansas. When they like a band, man, they show up. So anyways, let's get to the chicken wire. So we show up at this venue, and we rolled in a tiny bit late because, when you're driving and you're not a massive band, you're just a small band, and you're driving everywhere in a van, and you're towing your gear with you. The van was actually a decent size. It was a pretty decent sized van, so we were actually fairly comfortable. We did not have sleeping quarters in the van. That is difficult when you don't have anywhere where you can lie out. We did have, I think, 2 cots where guys could lie out, just because it's hard to sleep properly sitting up all the time when you're in a van. So the van was large enough that we were able to allow for 2 people to lie in cots and get some sleep at a time, and we would just cycle through the cots. So we show up at the venue a little bit late, and we're not panicked or anything, but the management at this venue is very panicked because we showed up late. So we get there, unload all our stuff, we start setting up. The manager comes out, and he's very uptight, and he didn't book us. So he doesn't know anything about us. He's going through a promotional agent, and he doesn't know anything about us. He comes right screaming in, "Do you guys play country music?" And we're like, "Well, not really. We play Southern rock. We play rock and Southern rock and stuff like that. I don't think we actually play any hardcore country songs." "You better learn how to play country, because this crowd tonight is going to be a country-loving crowd. And if you don't play country, you see that chicken wire? You're going to find out why that chicken wire is there." And we're all like, And immediately, of course, when I walked in the venue and I saw the stage, I immediately thought of Jeff Healey, and I thought of the movie Roadhouse as soon as I saw that chicken wire. And I was shocked to see it. And then I looked at all the guys in the band. We all looked at each other, everybody, management, the crew, everybody, all looked at each other like, what have we gotten ourselves into? It was a moment of, oh shit, It's hard to explain. There's just no one's talking. We're all looking at each other, and it's this moment of, what is going on? What in tarnation is going on here? So, open up the door leading in, because it had a door. You got to get through this chicken wire somewhere. There's like a gate. And we go in there, and I look on the floor of the stage. Now, there's a separate drum riser. There's like a stage area, and there's a separate drum riser, which was actually really cool. I really love playing on drum risers as long as they're big enough and stable enough. I've played on some drum risers where the thing is freaking shifting. That's hell. But this riser was actually well built. It was a good size, and it was pretty nice. But I'm looking on the stage to see what kind of debris is there, glass on this stage. Is this an ornery crowd? Now, obviously, they clean the stage up after every show. At least I would assume that they did. I didn't actually see them at any time cleaning the stage, but the stage didn't look too bad. Too bad. So I thought, okay, at least the last band that was here survived, it appears. There doesn't appear to be a lot of glass or debris or anything. It looks like it's pretty decent. So like I said, as we're setting up, manager comes in, tells us, you got to play country music. Well, we didn't play country music, going to be totally honest. But luckily, pro musicians, we have a meeting after we get set up. And this all happened really quick because we were late. We were late. So we had to set up really quickly. So we get set up and we're like, well, you know, what can we do? I remember suggesting Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy. Can't remember who sang that song off the top of my head, but I remember the song. So we quickly ran down, we listened to the song, and then we quickly ran down a version of it. And so that was one song we picked. And then I think we picked a Garth Brooks song. I can't remember, but we selected a bunch of different country songs. I think we did Little Sister, Dwight Yoakam. Yeah. So we picked, even though that's technically not a country song, but it's got that. We did the Dwight Yoakam version of it so that people would appreciate that it's country-ish. You got to remember, we're a rock band. We're not a country band. Even though country music is considered easy, whatever, it's not as easy as you think because there's a certain feel, vibe, and a vocal. You got to have that southern drawl. We're freaking Canadians. And you can't fake a southern drawl if you're Canadian in Arkansas, as everybody has a real southern drawl. So you can't fake it. So we're like, what the hell are we going to do? Anyways, we decide to come up with some country, but we add to our country rock. We start doing like Sweet Home Alabama, I think we added, and, you know, some country rock stuff. Oh, yeah, we added some ZZ Top. Thought maybe that would be okay. Anyways, the manager comes to us after we're wrapping up this meeting, and he's like, you guys got some, did you guys, you know, work out some tunes? And he's really stressed, and we're like, what is up with this dude? He seems really stressed about the whole country thing. And then he takes the manager aside. The manager comes back to us afterwards and says, look, guys, he says that he thinks the crowd's going to get ornery tonight. And he wasn't joking about the chicken wire, because I was kind of thinking about the chicken wire, like, what are we into? But I've never experienced any kind of a chicken wire gig. So the manager says to us, you guys better play and really put on a show for the 3 nights that we're here. So it's like, okay, but, you know, we always try and put on a show, but this particular night, you better put on the show of a lifetime, because the crowd he's claiming is an ornery crowd, meaning that it's going to be a lot of people that are into a certain style of music. You better not play any of that pop music. Now, we didn't play any pop music in this particular band. It was mainly rock and southern rock, and now some country. So get up on stage, and when you it was just like in Roadhouse. It was so funny. The crowd is just like, and the place was packed. You couldn't even get a seat. You couldn't go anywhere. We were in shock. The fact that a Canadian band shows up in Arkansas and the place is packed. Now, it could be, I'm certainly not going to pump my ego here. It was probably, I never asked anybody, but it was probably because that was a popular place. It really had nothing to do with us. That's my guess. Even though I did have people come up to me later and say that they really, really enjoyed the show. And the second and third nights, people came because they were, like I said, the Arkansas fans. They were there because they enjoyed the show, and they came back because they wanted to see us again and again, which was great. Fantastic. That's what you want. You want repeat customers and repeat fans. Always treat the fans good, guys. Always treat the fans good. So anyways, we get up there. We're all really nervous because we just didn't know what to expect from this group. And they're all you know, like this, like, you guys better be good. And the crowd is kind of quiet. And we're like, oh shit. So I can't remember, I think we started with Honky Tonk Woman. Yes, we did. We started with Honky Tonk Woman with that cowbell, right? I can't remember the rhythm right now, but started with Honky Tonk Woman. And then the guitar starts, and then the singer starts, and the crowd was digging it. Right off the first song, we captured them. And then carried on through. And then, of course, even in Arkansas, play Free Bird. So we did. That was one of the times we actually played Free Bird because it was actually in our set list. We also played Sweet Home Alabama and what's that other one by them? Three Birds or Three Little Birds or something? Not Bob Marley, but something to do with birds. I can't remember the name of it, but we played that as well. And we won this crowd over. It was just like when you watch a movie where you got an ornery crowd, they're all wanting something, they're kind of making fun of you, they know we're from Canada, and you can hear some jeers in the crowd, like negative things where you're like, ah. Anyways, the time comes when finally they're getting a little bit, we want some, they line dance, so they want some country music. Like, how we found that out was the manager came to us in between the sets and said, look, you guys got to play some country music. You got to play some country music. He's all nervous because I guess they've trashed the place in the past. That's what we found out. So, and he doesn't want us to get hurt either, which was kind of him. Thank you very much. So we ended up playing a bunch of country tunes in the second and third set. But like I said, country, rock, I think we did play some Hank Williams Jr. I can't remember. I honestly, it was a long time ago. I can't remember the country tunes we played, but we played enough country that they were happy. We ended up winning the crowd over. And like I said, a lot of them returned for the second and third night. Now, the second and third night, again, just like Roadhouse, there's fights, there's stuff flying around. We did not get booed. Nothing came our direction in terms of people angry at the band for what we were playing and throwing stuff at us. So luckily, the stuff that was flying around and anything that did hit the screen, some stuff did hit, but we knew that it was just in the melee of what was going on in the crowd. It wasn't directed at us, thank goodness. So despite the chicken wire, the band for the 3 nights was safe and sound. We did not have any issues, but what a night. So listen, guys, let me know if you've ever played a chicken wire gig and what your experiences were in that environment. I'm sure that if you've toured down south in the U.S., you know exactly what I'm talking about, playing these Roadhouse type venues. The other thing was the place is out in the middle of nowhere. The place is out, just like in the movie Roadhouse. The place was out in the middle of nowhere. And I remember driving there in the bus, going up to the bus driver and saying, like, do you know where this place is? And he's like, well, I'm following the map. This is maps, people. No GPS, maps. He's following the map. Somebody's helping him with the map, like one of the tech guys, one of the crew members is helping him with the map. And I was getting nervous because we're like literally looking around going, where the hell are we? We're out in the middle of nowhere. Well, lo and behold, there's a light in the distance, and it's the venue. It was a pretty large venue, as I recall. Like, I bet you there was about anywhere between 500 to 750 people, I think it held. And we sold out every night, so it was a good show. So that is my Arkansas chicken wire gig show story, guys. It's not as crazy as what maybe you thought it was going to be, because the show actually turned out to be well. But not every show. I mean, when I tell you the crazy stories, they're 1 in every 50, 1 in every 60. I mean, most shows just go fine. Crowd likes you, you do your thing, you play, you pack up, you leave, whatever. Or you go to the hotel. That was another thing, the accommodations. We were wondering when we got there, where the hell do we stay? Well, it turns out the venue, because they're out in the middle of nowhere, they accommodate the band and they fed us. So they treated us pretty good. We had food, we had drinks, any kind of a drink. You could have alcohol, you could have pop. They don't have the same restrictions down there like they do in Canada, where they really don't like to give free drinks to bands. I get it. Down there, it was just tell the waitress what you want, or the bartender. You just tell them. We had to wear, the notification that we were in the band or with the band. Either way, anytime you wear the lanyard. If you're playing a show, most tours give you lanyards. You walk around with them and it says you're part of the show, so they know. So I would go up and ask for fries or a burger, whatever. Man, it was there. They treated us well. The accommodations, I mean, the actual living area wasn't the greatest, but I mean, unless you're touring with Bon Jovi or something like that, you're not going to get great accommodations. It's just the way it is. But anyways, guys, I know you're all thinking, I got to go watch that movie again. Now, there's a new version of Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal. I can't remember his last name or how to pronounce it. I saw it. I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. I'm not going to give anything away. It just did not have the vibe of the first one. The first one's legendary. Jeff Healey, man. The first one is absolutely legendary. Check out my Jeff Healey video if you guys haven't seen it, about how I met Jeff for the first time and how he almost caused me to quit drumming. Ooh, Jeff. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Like I said, I'm feeling better now, and I'm going to be putting out some more new videos. Like and comment. Tell me about those chicken wire gigs. And as always, keep drumming. See ya.